Am I the asshole for not going to my girlfriend's son's funeral? I, 28 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 30 female, for 2 months. I think we had a good relationship. She has a son, 11 male. My girlfriend and I were good friends for a few years. We met through a mutual friends, and so I haven't spent time with her alone until 5 months ago. I knew she had a son, because she's posted about him on Facebook, a few times. He has some sort of liver condition and was awaiting a liver transplant. It's just him and his mom. I don't know much about him, as my girlfriend is very reserved talking about her son. I have a little sister, 26 female. I have always been closer to her than other siblings, considering we're only a few years apart. When she was 11, we were fighting at school and she ended up fainting. She had to stay in the hospital for a few days to have some tests done, and she ended up being diagnosed with diabetes, not related to her death. I think it changed the dynamic of our relationship a lot, because she was in hospital a lot more than other kids. At the start of September, my GFS son started getting sicker, and it was the first time she ever opened up to me about his health conditions. In early October my sister got into an accident. It was very sudden, and because she still lives near my parents they were heartbroken, and they don't have any children apart from my sister and I, so I went to help them. I grew up in Australia, and my sister and my family still live there. I live in America currently. For the funeral and to console my mum and dad, I decided to stay there for 10 days to help plan the funeral. On my second day there, I got a call from my GF. She said her son had passed away during the night. I tried to help her the best I could even though I was already sad about the death of my sister. She said she wanted the funeral to be done soon, and that it would happen on the 6th day of my 10-day trip. My sister's funeral was on the 8th and I wasn't going to take 2 flights to there and 2 flights back in less than 2 days to go to both. My girlfriend got really upset, and said that I didn't care about her son, and I was upset at her too because I had just lost my sister. She told me that her son thought of me like a dad, and I'd never met him so I told her I didn't think of him like a son. She hung up angrily and we haven't spoken since. I'll admit I was harsh telling her, and a grieving mother didn't deserve that. However, I don't think I was wrong to push the idea of me being this kid's dad. All my mutual friends think I'm the a-hole for not going, and that I should have told her later, but she knows I've never met her son, and I wouldn't ditch my sister's funeral to go to her son's. My friends though think I did the right thing and I wasn't obligated to go to his funeral. I don't know what I should have done. I'm glad I went to my sister's funeral, but I feel bad for how I told my girlfriend as her son's never had a father figure in his life. No assholes here. Grief is horrible. Hope you all heal. Not the asshole. Your sister and parents takes precedence above a 2 millionth relationship and a kid you never met. All my mutual friends think I'm the a-hole for not going. Those ain't your friends but hers. They are the AH of this story. ETA. Thanks a lot for the awards. Not the asshole definitely. All the YTAs are coming from delusional people. Could you have put it in nicer terms? Yes. But, was she emotionally blackmailing and guilt-tripping you? Also yes. Sorry for your loss op. Not the asshole. And #X200B. You were there for your sister's funeral. This was a shitty situation. And #X200B. And this is your girlfriend of 2 months, not of 20 years. She could have held the funeral off for 3 days. This sounds like a power play. And #X200B. You are not an aw. Am I the asshole because I baked my own birthday cake after my wife bought one? For my 32m birthday I always like one specific kind of cake, a chocolate-covered cherry cake. My mom or dad always made it for me since it wasn't one of the available flavors at any bakeries or stores near where we grew up. When I moved away I started to make it myself. I've been married to my wife just under a year, but we've been together for 6 years, so she knows all about this cake. During that time we've either baked it together, my parents made it, or I've made it on my own. I've never asked or expected her to do it. Before my birthday this year my wife asked me what kind of cake I wanted. Same kind as always, but she told me she didn't feel like baking. I told her she didn't need to worry about baking it because I can just do it myself. She asked me a second time and I gave her the same answer. The day before my birthday I get home from work and have all the ingredients to make my cake. Go to get something out of the fridge and there's a pair of cheesecakes in there with "Happy Birthday" written between them both. I asked my wife about it and she said those were the cakes for my party the next day, and she thought of switching things up this year since everyone loves cheesecake. I don't hate it, but she gets cheesecakes at least once a month. I only ever have the cherry cake on my birthday. I told her I appreciate it and they look good, but I really want the cake I like, so I was going to make mine and we'll just let everyone have a choice of what cake they want. She got pissed off and yelled that I ruined her attempt to make things easier on us by not having to bake and bringing cake that everyone would love. It's been 2 days since the party and she was cold at the party and is still acting cold. Usually I move mountains and heaven to give her the thing she wants on her birthdays and celebrate how she wants. I just wanted one specific cake for mine. Am I the asshole? Update. The recipe for everyone asking. 1 box chocolate cake mix. 1 jar maraschino cherries. 1 can cherry pie filling. 1 teaspoon almond extract. 1 container Cool Whip. 2–3 cups might work. I like to slather the whole container on chocolate sauce. Rum to taste. Make the cake mix as directed. Mix in the maraschino cherries, almond extract, and rum. Bake, take out and let it cool. Mix together the Cool Whip and cherry pie filling. Ice the top of the cake and all sides. Drizzle with the desired amount of chocolate sauce. Not the asshole, and it's weird for her to have even bothered asking what kind of cake you want if she was going to ignore you and choose her favorite cake instead. Also, I've never heard of a party being ruined by too much cake. That's patently absurd. Is she weirdly controlling about other things as well, or is this just because she doesn't like chocolate cherry cake? I don't get it. Not the asshole. She didn't want to make it easier on both of you. She wanted to make it easier on herself but not feel guilty for being too lazy to help you make your cake. Am I the asshole for humiliating Mill at a family dinner when she wouldn't stop going on about grandchildren? Please don't post this elsewhere, aka TikTok, YouTube. I, 27 female. Haven't gotten along with my Mill for the better part of my relationship with my partner, 27 male. She has said a lot of mean things about me that are honestly just childish and cruel. I won't get into the he said she said stuff. I've become exhausted with her, especially as I've moved into my career, moved town and am in the process of getting married, buying a house. In the past few years she's taken to outright ignoring me, speaking over me, pretending I don't exist. As a result, I've mentally checked out from trying to make things working with her, and in part so has my partner. Let me make it clear, I support whatever relationship he wants to have with her, but I'm done trying to be her friend. We were at a family dinner party. My partner asked me to come along recently, where she started asking him about when he's having children. She kept pestering him and asking when she's getting grandbabies and that she wants children around. This has been something she's been harping on a lot about lately, and it's getting on my nerves. My partner asked her to stop several times, but she kept bringing it up. I was sat there silent for a bit, but I think the wine got the best of me, so I kinda snapped. I turned to her and started asking what she wants to know about our private life. What kind of protection we're using, what positions we've tried, what toys we use. I started to list them all. Let's just say I used very inappropriate language for a dinner table, even throwing in a, "Do you have any pointers for me? Or maybe it'd be best if you just came and watched to make sure we're doing it right." At this point she was yelling at me, having a go at my partner for letting me speak to her like that, and crying about how mean I am. We got up shortly after and left. My partner thinks I took it a bit far in front of his family, and his aunties have said it was wildly uncalled for and mean. I don't really feel bad for it though, should I? Am I the asshole? ETA. I'm infertile. She isn't aware of this. I'd never give her that info to weaponize against me. But just for the people commenting to keep kids away from her, I won't have any to keep away from her, but thank you for the advice. I know your heart's in the right place. My partner has told her several times we won't be having children and to drop it. Since my partner always wanted children, she's assumed that I simply don't want children and am taking that away from him. Update. Thank you all for the replies. I appreciate the people giving some reasoning behind "you are the asshole" and "esh." I normally go to my friends about these things, but I worry it's maybe a bit of an echo chamber. They're so supportive and might not call me out on my BS. I can say I've read most, if not all, the replies, and I still don't feel that bad about what I said. Sorry, you are the asshole and everyone sucks here people. Mill has since messaged my partner. I won't put the exact wording, but she has said that she knows I'm the cause of her not having grandchildren and she's disappointed in him for being with me. She also said how grandchildren are a basic right, and even if they are _sloth89's children, she would still find it in her heart to love them and shape them into good people. My partner blocked her after that. I know a few people suggested I just tell her I'm infertile, but the way she weaponizes information is honestly terrifying. Some other people said that my partner should say he is infertile, and I think that's a valid option, but for now he wants no contact. Some people have suggested adoption. Thank you. I know it's coming from a good place, I just want to wait a while before considering children. I don't want to bring in a child that will likely have considerable trauma themselves into a house where I haven't fully healed. It's not fair on them. I'd also never want them to think they're filling a void just because we couldn't have children naturally. That's a heavy burden to place on a tiny person. I also think I'd like to do some pre-adoption therapy, if that's a thing, lol. For a year or maybe even some classes to better educate myself on how best to adopt and raise an adopted child. I'm not about continuing any cycles of abuse here. Also, if we do adopt, Mill won't meet them. I'd hate for her to say anything nasty or hurtful because they aren't blood-related. Thanks everyone. Not the asshole. I found this extremely funny, but I'm Dutch and we like a no-nonsense attitude. I think you need to put her in a timeout and not let your frustration get to the boiling point. Go no contact if you have to, even if your husband still sees her on occasion. I know this one will be a spicy take, but not the asshole. She was being incredibly creepy and inappropriate to you in a public setting. It is so gross and inappropriate to act like women are walking incubators for giving relatives grandbabies. You managed to reclaim power and control of the situation and turned it back around on her. You also tried to get her to stop nicely and she didn't care. You're not wrong to stand up for yourself. Not the asshole. If your partner thought you took it too far, maybe he should have shut it down hard himself. Not the asshole. She was being rude and inappropriate, so you dished it back. Love it. Am I the asshole for canceling a wedding gift when the wedding was cancelled? My husband's sister was supposed to be married in September. I chose an item from the registry, but the exact item she had added had a weird detail. She had explicitly mentioned previously needing option A, but on the registry she accidentally listed option B, so I asked her to make sure I got what she needed. So, she knew exactly what I was planning to gift. Sadly, they have now broken up. The gift hadn't shipped yet anyway, so I cancelled it. This past week she reached out to me about it. Since she knew I was purchasing it and we live far away, she was concerned that it had been delivered but someone had stolen it. When I explained that I had cancelled it, she was pretty upset. My mill has now reached out to us about it and feels that I was unkind to cancel the order. She feels that since my SIL is clearly going through a difficult time, and the holidays are approaching, it would have been more appropriate to let the gift reach her anyway. Obviously these are unfortunate circumstances, but this was a substantial gift, $700, and pretty well above the threshold of what I'd normally spend for a typical holiday gift. Before it comes up, I'll mention short and sweet that my husband is in the military and currently deployed, so that's why he isn't a big piece in this puzzle and I'm soloing this awkward adventure. Not the asshole. When a wedding is cancelled, it would only be polite for the bride and groom to return the wedding gifts. That's the norm. ETA. Please do not feel guilty about cancelling the gift. Not the asshole. What kind of new fuckery is this? When a wedding is cancelled, you don't give a gift and any gift received is returned just as the engagement ring is traditionally returned. These are gifts that are contingent upon a condition occurring, i.e. a wedding. A pick-me-up for your sister-in-law would be a gift card for a manicure or maybe a facial. Not a $700 gift from the registry that is an expensive gift even in terms of wedding gift standards.